Folks, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show here in Brooklyn. Back with Katie Schottland. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you.
Um, you know, where do you want to grow the most as a musician? I mean, do you feel? I mean, I talk to a lot of cats who they had some teachers, they didn't go to school, they got spun up and sent on their way, they shedded a lot in their bedroom, and they just don't get off on technique and facility. I mean, they use it as part of their toolbox, but it's more about feel. And I just wonder, when I saw you playing those tunes, you were playing nice rhythm chords, but improvisationally, is that a place that you want to grow in?
Yeah, I would like to, and I think when I've been able to play with a full band more recently, and so I also do vocal looping. So when I set a loop, or even when I don't set a loop, but we're just jamming as a band, I have more freedom because there's just this pad of structure that I can kind of experiment more.
Right.
So I really like that. And yeah, in general, not that I want to know music theory, but I should know scales and I should know what key I'm playing, like those things, just so that I have more freedom on the guitar to do what I want. Because if I play a solo, it's the same notes every time, and I'd like to get better at that.
Absolutely.
Sure.
No, you definitely don't want to be regurgitating, or repeating the same sequencing of ideas. How, do you try to put people around you that are better than you are?
Everyone's better than me. Yeah, I mean, the people that I play with, I would say all of them are trained in some way, and my friend that actually records and produces all my stuff, he's a phenomenal musician, so he's a really great sounding board in helping me develop and grow as a musician, and he plays guitar with me sometimes, and then, yeah, I mean, yes.
But I mean, in general, what is the instrumentation backing band? I mean, because you learn by ear, I mean, do you have the concept of playing just straight 3-4 minute tracks or songs, or do you never play the same song the same way once?
I do play this. I practice a lot, so I actually do play the songs. It's as they're developing, I don't play them the same way, so I can
explain the developmental, because that's what I'm saying. I there's nothing worse to me than a formula trip. I don't want to.
Yeah.
If I'm going to come see you play, I mean, in any event, what is the process, the evolution of the development of the song, and how does it change for Katie?
That's something that's hard to explain.
Welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show.
Sometimes I'll start writing a song in my bedroom, and I'll play it on my old Gibson acoustic guitar. Just today, actually, yesterday I was working on a song. I was changed the tuning, which is the first time I've been messing with that.
I love it. You're going out.
And I was working on it at home in my kitchen. It allowed me to strum differently. I came in today. Now on this guitar, it's a different song. It's the same. I put the same tuning on it, and but just the sound itself alters how I hear the song. So when I hear the electric happening, it all of a sudden wants to be more of a groovy song than this kind of strummy, slow song.
I dig.
So that's one way that they can kind of develop, is just testing things on different guitars even. And then lyrically, that's that can be, I'll think of something when I'm sitting on the subway, or if I'm going to the bathroom, and I'll just write it, just a line on my phone, and I can either develop a whole song from that, or I just write them all down, and then I'll pick and choose, and if I need something for a song, I'll look back and see, oh, here's a line, I could use this. Other times they're more like the one that I played, that was very specific about a trip I took in California with a friend, and that was all one experience, whereas sometimes my songs are lots of different experiences that come together to make the song.
Well, I was going to ask you about the germs of your songs and where they come from, but you know, it was revelatory. I have a dear friend named Dan Horn. He's an amazing bass player and producer out in Los Angeles, and he plays with Cass McCombs, who's a great singer-songwriter.
I love him.
All right, and so he's his bass player, and I was talking to him at Mullock's Surf Shop last week in Silver Lake, and he said that Cass doesn't listen to any music because he doesn't want to be influenced by. I want to ask.
Same way.
Okay, explain that. I want you to talk about that philosophy. I mean, it makes sense, but I was surprised, even just in the idea of saying, because I guess what that's saying is you just have you have words and music in your head all the time. Is that right? That's why you went on that spiritual trip in 29. Because you always have it in your head, right?
Yeah, I do. I have a lot in my head. I should be more disciplined about writing every morning and like getting it down, because a lot of times I'll be falling asleep and I'm like, write it down, and I'll forget it. And I shouldn't say I don't listen to music. I do listen to music, but a lot of times I'll meet someone, or someone will come up to me at a show and say, "Oh, you remind me of this person." And a lot of times I don't listen to my contemporaries.
Right.
I should say that. Like, and it's not conscious. I realized after the fact when people said, "Oh, have you heard this girl or this girl? You remind me of this girl." And I'm always like, I don't know their music, and I feel bad because it's not that I don't respect what they're doing, but I think subconsciously, number one, I don't want to feel insecure, and number two, I don't want to be influenced because I don't know. I'm just not that attracted to listening to someone like me. Like, I don't even know if I would listen to my own music. You know, it's not for me to listen to. It's for me to get out. And I would say I listened to like 5 albums, like, ever.
I mean, the idea, I mean, it was so hip back in the late 60s, and that Bay Area scene, you know, whether it was Tower of Power or Jefferson Airplane or The Dead. I mean, the drummer, David Garibaldi, came up, when I interviewed him, he said that if somebody came up to him and said, "Hey, man, you sounded just like so-and-so," he wanted to slit his wrists. Mm-hmm. It was about having individual sound.
Yeah.
So while you're almost, you know, I mean, I guess you said you felt bad that you don't know who they are, but in reality, it must be you must get off on the fact that, like, they're coming up with your contemporaries, but you have no idea. You're just channeling your own truth.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a little bit. I'm like, I like the fact that I'm not trying to be in a world of people that other people put me into, you know?
Exactly. It's not like you're trying to aspire to be something else.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I go back to this sort of enlightened, you might said it was a darker time, but this state of when you were operating on this frequency, and I wonder where you're at. Again, I know you're still evolving, but have you gotten the memo that you are merely a conduit for the music, that the music is coming through you from the heavens, and because a lot of cats, as they get older, studio cats, for instance, they get calls all the time, back when there was a real studio scene. People, or they're going to get calls to go on tour with Linda Ronstadt or whoever, and all of a sudden the phone stops ringing, you know, as they get older, and you know, they are bitter, and they have tons of gold records, and they have, you know, they're financially set for life, and they're bitter. And what I've learned from the cats is that it's because they believe that they were fully responsible for what was coming out of not just their instrument, but their voice. Okay, so do you believe that you are a conduit, and are there times where you feel like the music is coming through you from the heavens?
I guess say